Hi, Matt with eTrailer. If you're looking for a more entry-level carrier because maybe you're just getting into biking and you want to carry those heavy e-bikes, or you're looking for something that also has the ability to carry carbon frame bikes, then the Inno HD Tire Hold Bike Rack is going to be an excellent choice for you. And today we're going to have that on the 2023 Nissan Rogue. Now the reason why I think this is great for those heavy e-bikes is going to be because of its weight capacity. This is going to be able to carry bikes up to 80 pounds, and we're going to be able to carry 2 of them. Now that is going to affect our tilt away a bit. To show you what I mean, I'm going to tilt this back some, and you can see this isn't going very far back. And it's going to limit how far we can open up our hatch. And the first thing we're going to hit is going to be our handlebars. And that's really not going to matter how wide your handlebars are because this goes pretty far in. However, this does open up enough for me to grab some smaller things. If I have a couple bags of groceries, I can grab that, or my shoes and helmet, and get ready for my bike ride. And then put it back up into the seated position. All I have to do is come over here, lift up, until it clicks into place. Now, I'm actually liking the fit we're getting on the back of the vehicle because our hitch is pretty recessed on the Rogue, and we have plenty of clearance back here. Even if you're on a really rough road or something with a lot of terrain, and this is really bouncing a lot, and I'm pulling on this quite a bit, we're nowhere near making contact with our window. So that's really nice, or it kind of gives you a little bit more peace of mind. But to take a deeper look at this rack, I'm going to take off my bike. And where I like to start is with these arms. I can go on either side. What I recommend is just grabbing onto the frame, pressing this button, and pushing out. And this can be a little tricky sometimes because if it's kind of grabbing on there, what's happening is it's just getting caught on that tread. Try that again, and it moves out pretty smoothly. What I don't like is these are kind of designed to use both hands. You can use one hand, but it's going to be pretty tricky. And what's nice about that design is it's not making any frame contact. So great for those alternative carbon frame bikes or any bikes with a nice paint job. Now, one of the drawbacks to this design is because it is designed to work with those heavy e-bikes and you can buy a ramp separately, but to put that ramp on here, you have to really move around with a lot of options and really push things around, and it can be kind of tricky sometimes, like right here, and that's how I can put my ramp on, and that's kind of a hassle to do. So if that is a big hassle for you, then I would recommend some other ones. Anyone like the Sayers MHS Bike Rack, that's going to have a ramp that actually just sits onto the back of it, and you don't have to disengage or take anything apart. But once we get to this point, we're going to start getting some measurements, just to give you an idea how this is going to live on the Rogue. And the first measurement I'd like to get is going to be this ground clearance. I'm going to go from this point right here that sticks out a bit, right next to our handles, and that's going to be 16 inches, which is still pretty good, and that's going to be partly to thank of our rise in our shank. And what this design is doing for us as well is if by some chance we were to make contact with the ground, it's just going to be more of a buffer or kind of help protect our carrier a bit. Now for the overall length it's going to add, this is going to be from a back bumper to the handle a little bit over 29 inches. So that's not too bad. It does stick out a little bit, but it's something to keep in mind if you're in those really tight spots like a parking spot or garage. If you do want to save some space, you have that ability, and we're going to be able to fold this up. We're going to have 2 spots. This first spot's more so for if you have anything on the back of your vehicle or if you wanted to open up your hatch and you didn't want to lower it all the way down. And if I get this measurement, that's going to be from the back bumper to the back of the handle, 19 inches. So pretty good, but we can do a lot better. If we fold it all the way up, now that's only going to stick at just about 10 inches. So that's going to save you a lot of space overall. Now it is pretty close to our vehicle today, and that's going to be at our closest point about 1.5 inches. But we feel pretty solid, and I wouldn't worry about that making contact with the car in this position. Now for how it's going to interact with the back of the Rogue, we're going to block our license plate a little bit. You'll still be able to see it from certain angles, but for a backup camera, a lot of that center will be blocked. Now the sides, you'll still have a little bit of visibility, so you might be able to use it. It'll just be pretty difficult. If anything, I'd rely on using your back window or your mirrors, because that's not going to be blocked, and neither is your taillights. And for the way this is going to install, we're going to have a 2-inch shank, and that's going to go into our 2-inch hitch receiver. We're going to have this anti-rattle bolt that goes through, and then we're going to have this plate at the top. What's nice about this plate is if you do find yourself taking this in and out a few times, this plate is actually going to let you know where that hole is in your shank, so you can line up things a lot quicker. Now this isn't going to be the only anti-rattle device we have. We're going to have a secondary one, which is going to do the bulk of keeping everything steady. And this is actually a neat design because you don't need any tools that come with it. It's just going to be this handle that you can detach, then come by and tighten into place. And if you get to a weird spot like this, just remove it and line it up, and so you can lock everything down. And this is going to give you more security so no one can come by and take your rack. Now, honestly, I'm not a super big fan of that design. I think one of the racks I was talking about earlier, the MHS bike rack, does a far better job at that. It also is going to give you a lot more tilt when you're tilting this back, allowing you to access your hatch. And it's just going to be a bigger, better designer. It's going to feel a lot better, you know, it's going to be more sturdy. But this is better because if you're looking for something more on the entry-level side of things, and you're not really looking to invest in something a lot more premium, then this is going to be a great start for your journey. But that's just a look at the Inno HD tire hold bike rack on the back of our 2023 Nissan Rogue. I'm Matt, thanks for watching.